Okay, today's lesson we're going to be talking about adding 10 and 100 to numbers. So, my first section I'm going to be focusing on adding 10. I let the students know to find the tens place when they need to add 10. So I'm going to underline the tens place. By underlining the tens place, I'm showing I'm just changing my tens place. I'm not adding anything to my hundreds. I'm not adding anything to my ones, just my tens. So I have 5 tens right now. If I add another 10, what's one more than 5? That would be 6. So again, I'm not changing anything in my hundreds. Instead of 5 tens, I now have 6 tens. And then my ones stay the same. So I have a 3 in my ones place. So 10 more than 253 is 263. For my next number, I'm again going to identify my tens place. I'm going to underline that. And I'm adding one more to that tens place. Right now I have 3 tens. Once I add one more 10, I'm going to have 4 tens. I'm not changing my hundreds, so I still have 300. Instead of 3 tens, I'm going to have 4 tens, and then I have 1. Next one, 484. Underlining my tens place again. One more 10 than 8 is 9. My hundreds and my ones stay the same. Some people are like, well, wait a minute. What if I have a 0 there? What if you have a 0 there? Right now you currently have 0 tens, but if you add 1 10 to it, how many tens are you going to have? Well, 1 more than 0 is 1. So you would have 512. 512 because you're putting that 1 in for that 0. This is where some people get a little confused because I'm at the largest amount of tens I can have in my 300s, right? So if I identify my tens place in my 300s, I have 9 tens. Well, what happens when I add one more 10? I have 10 tens. So what does that mean I do? Well, what does 10 tens equal, everybody? It gives me 100. So this is how I like to have people look at it. If I was building this and I looked at this as just 10, say that I only gave you tens to build this number, tens and ones, how many tens would you need? Well, you'd need 39 tens, right? So if I add one more 10 to 39, what's 1 more than 39, everybody? That would be 40. So I'm going to put 40 here. And I did not do anything to my ones, so I would have 404. Does that make sense? Well, yeah, because I'm pretty much going to start over again when I get into the next 100. It'd be like regrouping by bringing my 100 over to my hundreds place, making that a 400, and then having that 0. So 10 more would bring me to the next 100. So let's look at this one. 896. So I have 896. Again, I have a 9 in that tens place. I add another 10 that gives me a 10. So it'd be like regrouping, right? Or let's look at it this way. I have 89 tens. What's 1 more than 89? Well, that would get me to 90, right? So I have 90 tens. And did I do anything to my ones? I did not. So I'm going to leave my 6 there. So 10 more than 896 would be 906. The next part we're going to look at is the hundreds. Again, I'm going to identify my hundreds place. I'm going to underline my hundreds. I need 100 more. Well, if I have 2 hundreds and I add 1 more 100, what's 1 more than 2? 3. So I have 3 hundreds. I did not do anything to my ones or tens, so I'm going to keep my tens and ones, which would give me 348. So let's see if that makes sense. 248, 348. That's what comes next when counting by hundreds. May I identify my next one? 639. I need to add 100 to that, so instead of 600s, I now have 700s. Again, I am not doing anything to my tens or ones. So then I have 639, 739. Next one, I'm going to identify my hundreds. I have 8 hundreds. Add one more 100, that would give me 900. Keeping my tens and ones, 941. Okay guys, here's where you need to think. I have 9 hundreds. What happens when I add one more 100 to 9 hundreds? So I have 10 hundreds. What does 10 hundreds make? If you said 1,000, you are correct. So technically I have 10 hundreds here. Did I change anything in my tens or ones? Nope, so I'm going to keep my 21. So I have 1,021 for my final answer. So these are some tips and tricks on adding 10 and 100. Make sure you underline, and if you have to move up, underline how many total tens you would have, such as the 39 or 89, and then just go one more up.